All right, Shalom. This is Brother Kaya from GMS New Orleans coming back at you with another lesson. Prior to getting started, as I always do, I like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the icons that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying, first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. And as you see in this lesson queued up today, it says the world enters uncharted era as U.S.-Russia nuclear treaty expires, opening door to fastest arms race in decades. And the stage is being set, man. All right, war is on the horizon, and the Lord is mustered in the host of the battle, man. All the things that collectively surround war, you know, and how right now war is imminent, you know, and it's you hearing about these weapons and these, you know, these treaties. None of these treaties was ever meant to satisfy themselves anyways. They was only put in place for one nation to take advantage of the other, you know, whatever the case may be. All right, but it's an arms race, okay? So, and people is getting their weaponry strengthened. All right, you know, the things that they need to prepare themselves, because on the forefront, these elites know that's going to be war. Like I always said, Mariam Baashawa wife said, if my sons didn't want war, there wouldn't be any. All right, so remember the Lord got the king's hearts. I say that on yesterday, but I'm gonna keep saying that, because all this tied back into this, just the Lord doing what he do, man. All right, let's read a little bit of it, and I'll get a couple on precepts, and Lord willing, to, you know, be edifying. It says a historic nuclear arms reduction treaty is set to expire Thursday, which will thrust the world into a nuclear situation it has not faced in more than 5 decades, one in which there are no longer any binding limits on the size of Russia or America's nuclear arsenals, and no inspection regime to verify what Moscow does next. There are no more keeping tabs, no more checking in to see what you're buying, how big is it, you know, what it can do, the destruction mechanism to it, or whatever it be. Because guess what? All right, you know, America got to get ready to fight, man. Iran, you know, getting weapons from Russia. You know, they getting up, man. Boots on the ground. All right, let's read. Let's see what this devil got to say here.
Russia said this week that they tested a new missile that can go more than 8,000 miles. Is that saber rattling for you? What is it? What is that?
They know we have a nuclear submarine, the greatest in the world, right off their shore. So I mean, it doesn't have to go 8,000 miles, and they're not playing games with us. We're not playing games with them either. We test missiles all the time, but you know, we do have a submarine, a nuclear submarine. We don't need to go 8,000 miles, and I don't think it's an appropriate thing for Putin to be saying either, by the way. He ought to get the war ended. A war that should have taken 1 week is now in its soon 4th year. That's what he ought to do instead of testing missiles.
See? Yeah. But that same war that, you know, America got their hands in, man. The Ukraine-Russian war. But while that's going on, they testing missiles. So that lets you know who winning the war, because when war go on, all hands is on deck. Everything is invested in war, man. Because if you lose, you know, your country gets overtaken. So why are you out practicing something when people's lives, you know, children, women, and you know, men's lives are at stake? Because like you said, it took a week, supposed to be a war for a week, and what the hell? It's been 4 years. Because war is a racket, man. All right. It says Matt Corder, Associate Director of the Nuclear Information Project at the Federation of American Sciences, said the expiration of the New START Treaty forces both countries to rethink assumptions that have guided a nuclear planning for more than a decade. Yeah, because on the front, a lot of things is changing, you know, about the use of weaponry, testing weaponry. And the weapon we're talking about is nuclear, all right? You know, it's starting to begin, and Russia been had more nukes than America, man. You know, America mouth speak great things, you know? And you Russians, listen, Russians is Edomites. You know, them Russians talk shit too. They just those different type of Edomites, all right? But they Edomites, nonetheless. All right. Let's see. It says, up until now, both countries have planned their respective nuclear moderation programs based on the assumption that the other country is not going to exceed those central limits. And listen, there's no limits in war. No, it's no fair in warfare. See? Carter said. So why would there be limitations in how you prepare for war? Saying your enemy have great weapons, you got great, you don't know what your enemy have, man. It said without those central limits, both countries are going to be reassessing their programs to accommodate a more uncertain nuclear future. There's an uncertain nuclear future going here. And rightfully so. All right. Now the horsemen of the Lord is thousands, tens of thousands. All right. They gonna control this nuclear war. Right? Meaning the horsemen are the angels. All right, the chariots of the Lord. And they're innumerable. So technically, you know, tens of thousands of missiles, which when you translate in Hebrew, is millions. All right, nuclear missiles gonna get shot at this place. Then they can't limit the amount of nuclear weapons and you know the strength on them. All right, because again, they like a strong people. All right, they can, you know, walk on walls, as it tell you in Joel. You can't control these missiles, man. It says the Lord created the smith that blowed the coal in the fire. Let me get that. All right, this is Isaiah 54:16. It's all designed, these German scientists and these people designing these missiles. You know, it's all designed by the Lord. It's all for the Lord, man. It's all for the working of the Lord. All right, for the destruction of Babylon. This Isaiah 54:16, it says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. And there you go. All right, there you go. But these I mean, who gonna have a limit on they nuclear arms, man? Shit crazy, man. People in this Joel 3:9 says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? These Gentiles, these Russians and Trump, and you know, it says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong. People girding up their arsenal, man. All right. Because these Russians, the Lord them put hooks in their jaws, man. They got them back to that old Soviet mindset. These devils ready to work, man. All right. This is Ezekiel 3:38 and 8. It says 3 and 4. And say, thus say Yahweh of hosts, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. All right. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth all thine army, horse and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with buckler and shields, all of them handling swords, man. All them people everybody handling swords. They sharpen they they sharpening their sickles, man. See that? All right. You know, testing those sharp sickles. Let's see this. Okay. All right. Sharp sickles. Huh. See that? This is Revelation 14 and 17. Start at 15, right? It says, and another angel came out of the temple crying with a loud voice to him that sat on a cloud, thrusting thy sickle, cloud is chariot, and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Yeah, it's ready for the Lord that reserved the world for fire for a time. All right, He had reserved this world for fire, and now it's time to blow that fire. All right. It says, and he that sat on the cloud thrusting his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. So this gonna happen. And another angel came out. Look, Israel just struck in Gaza. All right, it's gotta happen. Brother, just put that in the chat and call it like because long as these rumors of wars and these strikes and these little proxy wars going down, then there gotta be a great war. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the altar which had power over fire. See, sickle gonna be with fire, and cried with a loud voice to cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust thy sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. You know, and it's gonna, go down into the wine press, and obviously, that goes into great debt, all right, and bloodshed. But ultimately, this expired peace treaty bring joy unto the men of the Lord. Now, ante up now. Ain't no limits on nothing. You don't know what I could get, the limits I could go with mine. You don't go to the limit. Just know the waste is created to destroy, man. It says Russia has already suspended its participation in New START in 2023, freezing inspections and data exchanges, but the treaty's expiration eliminates the last legal framework governing the size of the two countries' nuclear arsenal. There you go. With no follow-up agreement in place, the administration has insisted it cannot agree to arms control without the cooperation of China. And China rocking with Russia. All right? They allies with Russia. So they don't want to shake hands on it because China got their own arsenal, man. Testing nuclear missile. Kim Jong-un is just a nuclear testing demon, man. All you see is this bad built ass testing demon smiling, but rightfully so. It said the president has been clear in the past that in order to have true arms control in the 21st century, it's impossible to do something that doesn't include China because of their vast and rapidly growing stockpile. Yeah, the Satan too, and amongst other things, man. I forget the hydrogen bomb that Brother Rye always speak about. I think he says it's mixed with something. It's a nuclear reactor with a hydrogen and what the hell? All right. It says Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Wednesday, a White House official, Fox News President Donald Trump will decide the path forward on arms control on his own timeline. President Trump has spoken repeatedly of addressing the threat nuclear weapons pose to the world and indicated that he would like to keep limits on nuclear weapons and involve China in arms control talks. It says experts are skeptical that China would ever agree to limit its nuclear stockpile until it's reached parity with the U.S. and Russia has said it would not pressure China to come to the table. Exactly. China aims to have 1,000 nuclear warheads by 2030, but even that figure pales in comparison to the aging giants of the Cold War. As of early 2026, the global nuclear hierarchy remains top-heavy, with the U.S. and Russia holding roughly 86% of the world's total inventory. Both the U.S. and Russia hold around 4,000 total warheads, with close to 1,700 deployed by each. Global nuclear stockpiles declined to about 12,000 in 2025, down from more than 70,000 in 1986. Says in February 23, Russia announced it was suspending its participation in the New START treaty, halting inspections and data sharing under the pact, while saying it will continue to respect the numerical limit. But more recently, it floated the idea of extending the treaty by another year. Let me jump down here, I'll jump around. It says it's not in Russia's interest to dramatically accelerate an arms race while its current modernization programs are going so poorly and while its industrial capacity is tied up in Ukraine, he said. It says, Carter said that without inspections and data exchanges, countries are forced to rely on their own intelligence, increasing uncertainty and encourage worst-case planning. Without those on-site inspections, without data exchanges, without anything like that, all countries are really left with national technical means of being able to monitor each other's nuclear forces. All right, yeah. All right, whatever. But, you know, let's just say, all right, the stage is being set, you know, the curtains is being open, man, and World War III is on the front stage, and we got word that I think it was in the Epstein files that the elder brother mentioned last night. I don't know, I'm just, you know, taking his word off it or whatever. He said World War III supposed to start February 8th. Now listen, we speak as a man, we're just quoting what these devils saying. You know, it's supposed to be in the Epstein files, but, you know, hey, you know, at some point it's going to start, and it's near. And all that just means is what? It's near, man. It's near the start of it. All right? So this, you know, that's pretty much was the point. Ezekiel, people handling swords, doing what they want, man. All right? Okay. Ezekiel 38, and now jump to 7. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. See, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, be thou a guard unto them, man. All right? See that? So be thou prepared. These devils is prepared. Get ready, be prepared, keep all the armors around you mobilized, take command of them. So that's what's happening, man. You know, they not telling China, they guarding China. Hey, look, China ain't coming to the table. They getting their arms up. Everybody getting their arms up. And now we not testing nothing no more. So now it's about to be a more rapid thing. Rapid arms race. Everybody rushing to get their arms up, man. All right? Because they know, all right, this is a nuclear war that's ensuing. So these other countries is getting ready, man. So I don't want to watch this out. Was that a fun? Next time I see Shalom.